still got the music going on in the background there. Probably should turn that off, you know. But hello and welcome to the DC UK podcast. This is season 4 and episode 18. And as always, I'm your host, James Graham. Alongside me, we've got Daniel and Tom. And for this week, I'm going to come to Daniel. How are you doing?
So a little bit of news. This will be the last time you'll see this background on the show, because we are moving this weekend. We're selling our house. We're moving. We're buying a new house. It's all happening like basically within 3 days, and it's gonna be so stressful. But we're moving along. We're doing good, and very excited to talk about what's going on with DC United now.
Indeed. How long has it been since you put the house up on the market and everything's gone through? Because it feels like it hasn't been that long.
Gosh, we listed July 4th, and then we actually signed on it. I want to say the 7th or the 8th. So it was real quick. It was within 1 week. We sold our house. That was wild. Like, I learned so much doing this whole process, selling a house and then buying a house. And that, like, within a 2-week stretch, we sold our house and then we bought a house. And wow, it's a lot.
It's been like what?
Oh, by the way, I got married this summer, so you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know,
it's been pretty light.
Yeah, I mean that feels like that. I mean, compared to what the process is over here in the UK, the fact that you put your house up, you bought a new house, and you're moving in like within 6 weeks.
Yeah,
isn't the UK pretty weird in terms of like you don't even need to have a real estate license to become a real estate agent in England?
No.
I remember looking something up about that. Like you don't have to take a test or anything.
No.
That doesn't sound right.
You just show people around the house and go, "Do you want it?"
See? Yeah. Like
that's literally it. There's no, I don't think there's, I mean, I've never done the job, obviously, because I'm just spouting absolute nonsense right now. But yeah, I mean, the whole process for us from when we've sold our last place to moving in, from the day that we had an offer on our place to when it must have been 16 weeks.
Wow.
And the average for here in the UK is about 12 weeks.
Well,
so the fact that you gone through that whole process within the matter of 6 weeks,
in half the time, yeah,
is absolutely insane. So,
but honestly, it could have been done sooner. You know what's really funny?
What
is we didn't make this move because basically Adrian, she's starting her school year, and so we're just kind of moving close to like where she's at. She had a bunch of stuff she had to get ready, so like we could not go like bang bang bang. I also had to kind of work out stuff with my job and start kind of like a remote process now, so we're spacing things out. The thing is, we did so much this summer. We didn't even take a honeymoon, so like that's not coming until around the holidays. And then we're we just took it one step at a time, and that's really the way you can do it.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair play for you to get moved in that sort of time frame. That's just madness. But
and it's really rough. So this weekend's going to be super awkward. I don't mean to make this the real estate podcast, but no, we aren't officially able to move into the house until Monday, but we have to move out of this house tomorrow. So we worked out a deal to store our stuff in the like huge like detached garage. So we are going down Friday, putting a whole bunch of stuff in that garage. Then we're going back to my wife's parents' house to pick up all the stuff we got for our wedding. So bridal shower and wedding gifts. And then we're moving all of that stuff again. But we won't be able to move it until Monday. So all of that is going to sit in the garage, and then when we sign on Monday, which isn't until like 4 p.m., we will essentially be homeless. So
Jeez.
it's
Wow.
kind of nuts.
That is wild.
So we'll have to kind of figure something out for that time span, but
You'll be fine.
it's fine.
Easy. Yeah. Tom, how'd you top that?
Well, to bring it back to a real estate podcast.
Oh,
No, I was just thinking about it because one of my prior professions was actually in real estate, and I actually, which is why I was so like amazed about the English, like standards for becoming a real estate. I had to do like 160 hours, take 2 different tests. You have to be signed up with like a real estate company before you can even practice.
Yep.
I mean, it's insane. And yeah, and then I remember going to England and being like, oh, they just like put pictures of houses on like shop windows, and then you just like buy it.
Oh, don't
It's
even
like
do
what?
Don't even do that these days. It's just on a website.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's
it's nuts to me.
Yeah, there's even.
And then just one last thing, I guess, just to really puff this out, is my profession in DC was I did communications for the DC Association of Realtors. So like,
no way.
There it is. Yeah.
Wow.
And as Dave Johnson always says, ran out of real estate. Looks like he ran out of real estate on that one.
Oh no.
So no, otherwise things are good. I'm working a lot. I got in another Twitter argument with Alexi Lawless yesterday.
Oh, what did you say? What did you
He's
do?
He's my least favorite person in the world. Oh my god. I mean, he just comes out with like the most far like left field stuff. He said Nagby is one of the best midfielders in the world. In the world.
What?
Yes, and I can even like pull up the tweet. Basically, I was just like, you have the worst opinion in footy history. It is absolute garbage, and you just spread lies and misinformation.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Nagby's not a bad player.
No, but he's not best in the world.
No.
I hate that guy.
No, that's just.
I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
You hear it, Alexi?
Wow.
I'm shouting you out.
That is really bizarre. What a weird guy.
Not a fan.
No. So
his brother's great though. He's a really good writer. He's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
Greg
there's got to be one good egg in that family, hasn't there?
That's right. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Oh dear. And we're getting another heat wave right now.
Everyone
another
is.
heat wave. It's just bonkers. Absolute bonkers. It's about 28 degrees in the house at the moment.
Oh my god.
It's just and it's what, 10 p.m. It's not nice.
Ew.
Ugh, it's horrible. Houses keep heating in this country. It's just wrong. I know. And it's been up to like 33, 34 degrees today. And it's getting 35 tomorrow and Saturday. Eventually, it does calm down again next week, apparently. But, we're going to be having a horse pipe ban from tomorrow, apparently. So, can't water the garden.
Nice.
Big thumbs up.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah. I love the heat. Said no one ever in this country. Anyway, I normally would do like a trivia question right now.
Yeah, all right.
I see a guess that player. What?
But I forgot. So, I'm just trying to think. Oh, here we. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. It's going to be based on a player. I mean that's that. No, I can't do that one. That's too cruel. I was going to ask name the Ugandan who played for DC United, but he only ever made one appearance for us. So
yeah, I hate those ones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably very cruel. That's Robert Sayemba.
Nope.
No, he played
Cool.
once in 2006, and it was for 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's just cruel. You
Yeah.
can't do that one.
But he played for Richmond Kickers.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and he was on loan at DC United from Richmond Kickers.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. There's a bit of trivia. We'll just leave it there. You know. So, should we talk about the summer transfer window since that's now finally shut? We had
Yes.
quite a bit going on. I mean, other things that we've got going on today's show is there is an interview. It's been a while since we've had one of these, but we've got an interview coming up very shortly after what we've just talked about in the summer window. You've still got your MLS 101 this week.
Yep.
And we're going to have hopefully some fan questions. We've got one sent in, but if you've got any out there whilst we're listening to this show and whilst we're doing it live, please put them in the chat. Michael Critchlow is watching over on Facebook. Just said, yes, the madness of this transfer window. I don't know how to feel. Well, let's break it down. Incomings for this window. Well, Ravel Morrison, Rafa Romo, technically speaking, David Ochoa, Martin Rodriguez, Miguel Berry, Victor Paulson, and Christian Benteke.
Yeah.
I guess we could kind of count Taxi in there as well. He's like May.
Technically, we could actually, yeah.
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 So how many is that? Like
That's
8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 players.
Wow. It's like a whole new team.
That's pretty darn good.
Ah.
It's a busy one for incomings anyway. Departures for this season, for this summer, were Edison Flores, Griffin Yao, Julian Gressel, and from the sounds of it, Estrada. Looks like his loan deal's about to end. It's coming up on Transfer Market that his loan deal's ended, but I've not seen anything official just yet. So take that however you want, but that doesn't surprise me that his loan deal would be ended because he's not played since Rooney came in. So
literally the first game.
Yeah,
the first game.
Literally that. So I just want to briefly talk about the outgoings first before we move on to the incomings. The fact that we lost Gressel under those circumstances, and the fact that Griffin Yao moved away and Flores moved away. How do we feel about the outgoings for this summer? Are we okay with it? What do we think?
For sure, the Gressel one, that just hurts in a lot of ways. Just one, how it was handled, and then two, he's just been a terrific locker room guy, fan favorite. Also, just a fantastic performer on the pitch. It was a shame because he did play a bit with a knock early in the season. Yeah. So, his performances weren't exactly up there, but he's just a guy who just embodies a lot of that, like DC United grit that became so famous under Olsen. So, it's a shame seeing him go. As for the others, Flores, that just did not pan out. Same thing, or I guess with Yao, talented kid. I don't know exactly how things are going to go with over in Belgium, but I hope he does well. I didn't quite get super hyped on the kid, but I hope he does well. I think they were sensible choices. They were players who were very rotational, aside from Gressel, and I think DC has some solid talent in those spaces now.
Yeah, definitely.
Tom, like true starters, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I feel generally the same as how Daniel feels about it. I feel like we've really pooped the bed on the Gressel situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like the language there. That was very PG.
Keeping it down. I nearly ruined it. So yeah, I mean, I think we really messed that up and could have been handled a lot better. Like Daniel was saying, the Griffin Yao situation, I still feel like it was too early, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like Paredes. But if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, tough luck. I mean, that's about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the only bad thing about I can't even remember his name. I'm blanking so bad. Oh
Flores.
my lord, Peruvian striker
Flores.
Flores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
The only bad thing about
The
the Flores
DP.
deal, the designated player. My lord, the only bad thing about that was that it didn't happen sooner. He needed to go. It was not working out, and he had chance after chance, and it just weighed the team, and it was killing his confidence too. So I think that was a win all around.
Yeah, definitely. So happy with the outgoings. So in terms of incomings, Ravel Morrison, what we've made of him so far. I mean, for
Love him.
me, he's been decent. I don't think he hasn't set the world alight, league alight yet, but he's only just come in, so it's going to take a few games before he gets used to his role in the team, which seems to be a deep lying playmaker, from what I can gather.
Yeah, we were talking about that last episode, how his tempo isn't exactly like, run all over the pitch and this and that. He's more like control what's happening in the game, set people up with passes, making it more possession based rather than, just running up the field and booting it.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of his. I don't think we're going to see a lot of, crazy scoring highlights from him, but he does more of the like non-statistical stuff. He won't get on the score sheet as much, but he'll be that guy that's, basically running the tempo of the game.
Yeah, definitely. Do we think people's expectations of him potentially being like a Lucho Acosta might put people off him a little bit?
I mean, the thing is people, especially like in DC, don't really know about Ravel Morrison that much. I mean, he just appeared off the grid for a bit. So he's a different player than Lucho. I would say, Lucho was very noticeable because he had tricks, he had speed.
Yeah.
Ravel is a bit more clinical in terms of the way he plays. So we shouldn't be. I don't think we should be doing a like for like. They're the same player. I feel like that they definitely have different skills that they give to the game.
Definitely. Moving on then for Daniel, thoughts on Rafa Roma? Obviously, he's played quite a lot, and his performances, I would say, inconsistent.
But he held it together against New York.
Yeah.
I feel like that's finally like coming into form with him. But my problem with him is he tends to be too acrobatic, or he tends to parry more than just grabbing at the ball. I think that's where a lot of these second chances come, is when he's behind the net and he just kind of punches balls away. But I think this time he was just way more squared up to things. There was a late goal, or not late. There was a late goal attempt, like around the 70th minute or something, where he got a little too, I don't know, he wasn't quite squared up on it, and thankfully, like, the ball went wide. But again, it was sort of like he dove at it, tried parrying, and it just kind of rolled off. So it's just one of those things. I prefer keepers, who square up, grab the ball, like they're secure, rather than a guy like Romo, who's really kind of all over the place, really, really athletic, really acrobatic, but like, I like sure hands rather than someone who can just, kind of be all over the place.
Yeah. I mean,
He also thinks he's a center back.
I was just about to say
hey,
that.
I tell you what, if they convert him, keep him on, see if he's built for that.
That's true. We need it.
Yeah. we really do. But staying on the back line, we've signed David Ochoa, which it's been a fantastic signing. Well, obviously, we've not seen him play yet because he's still working his way back to fitness. But for me, that's been a quality signing. Very young, very talented. Lots of clubs have been after him, but we've managed to get the signature and get that sorted out. So for me, that's a perfect signing, not just for the short and near term, but for medium long term.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a proper legend for the club because he seems to be eccentric, but in the right way, I want to say.
For sure.
So we got that one. And then we move on to Martin Rodriguez, played a couple of times. What do we think about his opening appearances? Go on, Tom.
Sure. I mean, actually, no, Dan, you look like you were ready.
He's streaky. It's sort of you know, he's got good presence, but I don't think he necessarily. I don't know. It's weird. He's hot and he's cold, and like it not just from game to game, but I think from like moment to moment within games. I don't see, or I'm not quite seeing where things are with him yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's like very reactive in terms of the game. He's not very consistent in terms of performance. It's either like he's disappeared or it's like, oh wow, like the game where we came back and won, you know, Rooney's first game, he was actually a very important part of that game. But then, you know, the next two, it's like, was he even like in the stadium?
Mm-hmm.
Again, let's put it this way. He's like Ravel Morrison, like Rafa Romo. They're both ain't new players to the league as well. So they're going to take a little bit of time. And Rodriguez still, he's been playing, but not at full fitness yet. So we've got to work on that with him as well. One surprise one for me was Miguel Berry, bringing him in. Something that I wasn't expecting. Again, a little bit out of left field with this one, but you know, pretty good player. Knows where the goal is. Not the out and out striker we would expect to have, but
we don't really need that at this point.
Yeah,
we already got it.
We've got it now, but we will. I'm going to save that for the interview part before we talk about him.
About who?
I mean,
Bale who?
Yeah,
Ballet. I've never even heard of that guy.
I don't even know him.
Garete Ballet
guy, some dude.
He's from some country called Wallace.
Oh, Wallace.
Wallace.
They put like 27 consonants in their words, like whatever.
They remove all the vowels.
So I was going to say
every place name is. That's how you pronounce it.
If you've ever looked at like Welsh, like written, it's absolutely absurd.
It's the longest place name in the world. It's just like 127 letters or something daft like that. It's just like, why? But I'm not here to bash the Welsh. That's offline. Victor Paulson. I had a good chat with Sean about Victor as well. But I'm excited to see what he can bring. He's kind of that player who likes to do the dirty work.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's what we need. We've been missing that hard-nosed, thumping of a tackle kind of guy.
Felipe.
Yeah, that's literally on. We've not had a Felipe for a little bit now, so it's good to have someone like that in there.
Definitely.
And we can do the thunderclap for an Icelandic now.
Except for Tom.
Except for Tom, because he never does that.
No, I'm actually incredibly against it. In fact, whenever I'm at the games and they start doing it, I just fold my arms. I just stand there angry.
But now you've got a reason.
No, I'm not doing it.
What if Victor turns around and says, do it?
Then I'll say, do one.
Okay, but what if Rooney tells you to do it?
Rooney wouldn't tell me to do it.
What was if he did, though?
Rooney wouldn't.
But what was if he did?
I would say, Rooney, you're a Brit. you're an Englishman. You know why I'm not doing it. And then he would say, okay.
Wow. That's
I'm
just
not
ruined the
doing it.
chances of Wayne of ever coming on this podcast.
Yeah, sorry, Wayne. Wayne, you are my childhood hero, but do not
It's
make
true.
me do the Icelandic clap. I won't do it.
Oh dear. Right. Before we have a little chat about Christian Benteke, the new DP, the new wonder signing, we're going to move over to the interview that I had with Sean Howe earlier on this week. We're going to see what kind of the ins and outs, a little bit about the transfer, how it came about, and about the other signings that we've had to this summer window. So let's have a listen to that. Welcome back to the show, Sean. It's been what, maybe I think 2.5 months. I think so, not too long. It's been a little break.
It's felt like 2 years for me.
Oh no! Have you been hard at work? Have you?
No, it's been a long window. It's been a long window. Can finally take a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a deep breath. Obviously, we've had lots of movement, so yeah, we're pretty pleased. But time to take a couple of days just to relax and sit back and evaluate and move on.
Yeah, it has been a busy window, but obviously the big thing that happened, which did happen last week, was Christian Benteke coming in out of left field, I want to say, because I don't think anyone really took it seriously when the rumours started coming up, and I think everyone was thinking it was a bit of a long shot. Nobody thought it would really happen, people I was speaking to anyway. So first, just how on earth did it happen?
Yeah, so I mean, look, there was obviously lots of rumours that he was going to go to Wolves, and there were many clubs interested. And I'll be honest with you, it was kind of all happened over 10 days, and it was the 10 days before the window closed. So we worked quickly on it, we worked hard on it, but it's one of them where, look, when any Premier League player is interested in coming to the States, you start to take it a little bit seriously, and it's a position that we've been looking for since last summer, to be honest with you. And you know, with myself, Lucy, Dave, Stuart, and the ownership, we didn't want to pull the trigger on anything we weren't fully happy with in that position that was going to be a DP for us. So, you know, we had many that were ups and downs, and it just so happens that, you know, we've done a lot of work on other players. But like I say, 10 days before the end of the window, it was kind of, look, this is a possibility. Let's do our full analysis. Let's do our full homework on if this is right for us. And yeah, it just every day progressed more and more and more. And you know, thank God we got it done over the line in the 11th hour. It was kind of a, you know, I watched as a kid, as you know, Sky Sports News, where
Yes.
you know, you're watching it until the deadline officially closes, and even then, more news is coming in. And it was kind of one of them where we even though the window was shut, we were like, "Is it done? Is it done? Have we completed this? You know, it's still waiting for the thumbs up." And it was kind of like one of them where it's like, "Oh, hey." No, very, very pleased. But it happened very, very quick. We all took a step back and said, "Okay, is this right for us? Does this move the needle for us?" And look, a player of his profile is well sought after throughout the entire world of football. Every agent, every club, every sporting director I talk to, it's, you know, what are you looking for? We tell them, they tell us, and we end up saying, yeah, we're looking for a target number 9 who's mobile, can hold the ball up and can finish. And it's like, well, yeah, so are we.
I mean, I think the big thing that you mentioned there, just as you were talking, was the fact that he was rumoured to be joining Wolves. So the fact that we've been able to beat a Premier League team, not just any, but actually a top 10, even European team, just how much for you does that mean that MLS as a league is coming on, but also as a club, the pulling power that we have now?
Yeah, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head with both of those. Number one, in terms of the league, just the type of player, the caliber of player that is coming to this league now. I mean, look at what Toronto have managed to do with 2 signings.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking fierce. And so, it's kind of one of them where, again, players like Christian and Benteke and Cine, they're all wanting to come to this league, and for the right reasons of, it's a league that's growing and growing, and everybody wants to be a part of that project. But secondly, the pulling power that we have as a club, certainly with Wayne's history, and certainly with what he did with Derby, and now coming back to the club, he's a legend in his own right in terms of his playing career. Now he's starting to build his coaching career, but it's wild, the pool of players we were managed to dip into. To be a little bit candid, it's the first 2 weeks he was in, we were in the war room, we call it, chatting through some options that we had, and look, we were rooming with many other players, top players, and it was kind of one of them where we're saying, well, listen, is he available? And he said, well, let me pick up the phone and call him, I know him. And it's like, well, usually it takes me 2 or 3 days to get to the contact, and then get through all the paperwork. But he's picking up the phone, and we're having that chat within 5 minutes. So it makes my job a lot easier, James. I'll tell you that.
I mean, that's absolutely mad. But yeah, you're right. Wayne's obviously got the experience. He's got obviously all the right kind of contacts. The fact that he's played in the Premier League for so long, it's brilliant. So I think for me, one of the questions I know one of the fans will want to know is, one, obviously, how long? I think you mentioned it before. It took 10 days to conclude the actual deal. Was he available prior to that? Is there a name that came up previously? And was he kind of one of our main top targets when that name did come up?
I think we had a lot of top targets. I think we were, the question I kept getting asked was, are we going big name signing, or are we going building for the future? And look, I think this is a club that will always gear towards, a big name. Just I've already heard it, the Wayne Rooney effect, right? Yeah. When he came in as a player, it lifted the club, and you can see it throughout the league in a Cucho Hernandez at Columbus, and Insigne and Benteke at Toronto. These types of signings, they give you a boost. So, look, he was one of many that was always on the radar in terms of that profile of a striker that we were looking for. I'd be lying if I said that he was, it was always on the table. You know what I mean? Because when you have the chance to play under a Wayne Rooney and the staff and build and help with a project, I think that's been an attraction. And look, we have many players reach out to us and say, look, I'd be interested in coming, rather than us having to do the reaching out. So a bit of both, really. Again, when it comes up that, look, he's interested, it's kind of a no-brainer for us. We've done our homework, and we spoke with Wayne, and we spoke with the rest of the coaching staff and ownership and amongst ourselves as a front office, and everybody it was a no-brainer for us. Absolute no-brainer. If we could get it done. Speaking with Christian today, he's absolutely raring to go. You got to kind of rein him back a little bit because he's not allowed to do anything at the moment. But we're waiting for the visa. So
yes.
He's as hungry as ever, and he's looking forward to the project.
Yeah, I think that's the most frustrating part of fans as well, is that visa process. Is the fact that it does take a little while to get things through. Do we know roughly how long that's taken at the moment in terms of getting a visa through, or is it just a pull a number out the air?
Yeah, we're in the hands of the English and US government. What I will say is that they've managed to turn over a couple of our signings pretty quickly already. Yeah. Obviously, it helps with the stature of Christian Benteke and the player that he is, being an international footballer. That's always going to help. So look, he's in the country. He's managed to do his media stuff today. He's met with the team. He's met with the coach, and yeah. So look, I think timeline wise, I'd hate to put a date on it for you guys.
Yeah.
Right. For me, I'd love to see him against Philly at home.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
It's the day of my birthday too, so if he could give us a little present on that day, that'd be great.
Cheeky hat trick on a debut, that would be tip top.
Yeah, birthday wish and all that.
Yeah, I mean the last time I think I saw a hat trick on a debut was back when I was going to the Middlesbrough games, and Ravanelli scored a hat trick on his debut against Liverpool.
Wow, some player.
He was a fantastic player. Those were the days of being a Borough, decent days of being a Borough fan.
And listen, I think we owe Philly one too. So that's the other part of it.
Indeed. So previously on the podcast, you've talked about obviously signing players who would get along in the locker room and complement each other. So with Benteke, you obviously said you've done your analysis, you spoke to everyone. What do you think he will actually bring to the team in that locker room? Well,
first of all, he speaks multiple languages. So that's always a bonus. But he brings the professionalism. Already you're seeing players, looking up to Christian. So again, just the aura around the player. He brings a level of professionalism and a level of calmness amongst the group. But I think he's also a good fit in the mentality of he's a hard worker. He's going to work hard for the group. He wants to row in the same direction as everybody else. And so, we're trying to get a real togetherness in the group, again, to move forward together and really believe in this project that we've started. So, I think he brings that. He also brings on the field presence in terms of allowing us to play in the way that we want to. But bring the goal threat, bring the physical presence that perhaps we've lacked a little bit in the box and going forwards of late. So again, this has been a profile that we've looked for over the last year, and look, we're really happy at this point to get a player of his caliber in through the door, especially given it's the profile. Sometimes when you sign a high profile player, they may be not exactly what you're looking for, but you hope they hit the ground running and provide you with goals, assists, and that sort of thing. I think with Christian, we really got the full package here. So, he's going to bring a lot professionalism that just to the young players. He's already connected with so many of the players. So, really, really pleased with that side of things.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, obviously speaking to you previously and actually knowing the amount of work that you guys do, and I know you guys will have done your due diligence on everything about him, so I've got no worries on that one. Other than Benteke, obviously we've had quite a busy window with both incomings and a few outgoings as well. Obviously we brought in Victor Paulsen in as a defensive midfielder, DP. We've got David Ochoa as well, but obviously we've had Gressel, Yao and Flores outgoing. With those incomings, conscious effort on bringing and covering those positions. I know we've had Bill Hamid out injured, so I think was that a Ochoa deal was a forced deal, would we say, to bring in cover for Bill, or is it someone that we've had our eyes on for a little while now?
Well, what I'll tell you is I think everybody in the MLS has had their eyes on him. Look, I think it was an opportunity that came to us, and knowing the player, knowing his ability and his qualities, knowing what kind of future he has ahead of him, as long as he takes care of what he needs to take care of, on and off the pitch, it's a no-brainer for us, an absolute no-brainer for us. And again, it's only going to drive the rest of the group, whether it be Bill, whether it be Romo, whether it be Kempin. It's just going to drive the group in the right direction in terms of competition. And if you get the chance to bring in a young goalkeeper that has real promise and real quality, you got to get it done. And so that's where we were with that one. Again, really, really pleased, looking towards the future and building in terms of, we want our keepers at this point to be a part of the build out. We want them to be good with their feet, and we want them to contribute heavily when we have the ball.
Yeah. I think we've seen Romo recently absolutely dominating sort of that coming out of the box and actually wanting the ball and passing it around and distributing. I mean, we saw the ball over to Kamani Smith at the weekend against Red Bulls, which was just phenomenal. So he seems to be coming on leaps and bounds, and he's making some great saves as well. So competition is brilliant to see. And then Victor Paulsen. So what was the thinking behind bringing him in?
So Victor Paulsen's one that we've tracked for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
We wanted to bring him in for 6 months. It just couldn't quite work out for many reasons. But yeah, tracked him for 6 months. This is a guy where we absolutely love his personality. We love his drive to be a winner. He's a real lion. And he's the type of character we wanted to bring into the dressing room to really get that real strength in the locker room, really gel everybody together. He's talking all the time. So he's one, brings experience and a real locker room guy. But not only that, his quality on the pitch. A guy with real quality on the pitch. And again, already you see it. You know, he's had his first few training sessions already since he's been back. His visa and he's ready to go. So
awesome.
Fit as a fiddle, always has been. So, you know, again, just a great guy around the training ground, and someone like I say that we wanted to do for 6 months, but have had to wait patiently. You know, sometimes that's just the way it goes. But I think what you'll see is he'll be a real spine, if you will, in the team. You know, we've really built a very strong spine in the team. I think we've added a lot of quality over this summer. I think we're all very pleased in terms of what we've brought in. You know, Martin Rodriguez in his ability to improvise, not quite as fit as we'd like him to be just yet. You know, I think he's got a lot more to give, but let me tell you, when he hits full fitness, he's got a lot to provide. You know, combining with Taxi, his positional versatility. And look, we could talk about every signing. Miguel Berry, you know, a player that in January we inquired with Columbus to try and sign. It wasn't available at the time. Wow. You know, kept the fire alive and look, managed to be able to pull it off this summer. Again, a player that's really hungry to come and show what he can do. Yep. We believe in his quality. I think you saw Red Bulls in a tough physical game. He can really show his own, hold the ball up, provide an outlet for us. Look, I had a conversation with him after the game against Red Bull, and he said, I've had 4 games. I don't think I've played very well. And I said to him, listen, the goals will come. Yeah. What you're providing for us right now is invaluable. And you're providing an ability to hold the ball up, to run in the channels and put in a lot of hard work defensively. So, look, we're pleased with him. We know we've got a lot more to see of him too. So we're in a good situation again with competition.
Yeah, definitely. So summer transfer completely finished now. We're done and dusted. What's next?
Straight back at it. Straight back on the road. Now this is sort of take a step back. Let's assess the window. What do we do right? What do we do wrong? How can we change things, processes, you know, that type of thing? What are we missing? And look, we won't do that overnight. We'll go away. We'll wait a couple of weeks. We'll assess, you know, a couple of us are going to maybe get a couple of days just to really, you know, take a step back from it. So, yeah, I think it'll be evaluation of the processes, evaluation of what we've got in the squad, evaluation of, you know, what does January look like in terms of contracts, in terms of players that in and out. Look, it's a revolving door. It's a never-ending cycle, staying in constant contact. So the main piece will be evaluation of the window, and then looking ahead into January, into that window to honestly make sure you try and get the pieces in before the window's shut and before you start pre-season. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's invaluable to get players in it before pre-season, so you can get a full pre-season with under the system. And look, it's a new season. A new system, which I'm sure you guys have seen, and It's pinched a little bit, but the players are taking to it really well, and I think that there's some real positives moving forward.
Yeah, I think we saw a good direction going in that Red Bull game. The compactness, the defensive play was just much better, and I just think we were a bit unlucky not to take anything from that game. Well, take 3 points from that one, because for me, the standout player in that game for me was Kamani Smith.
Right.
I think he was just phenomenal. He just seems to be, considering he's a forward, he's really owning that left back. It's great to see.
Yeah, it's a credit to him, number one, because he's had a bit of an up and down career here at DC since he was drafted. And look, players fall in and out of favour. But the one thing he's never done is complained. The one thing he's never done is sort of just take the day off. He's worked hard. He's taken his medicine, gone to play it loud and got his minutes. And look, he'll play any way you want him to play, and I think it was a real testament to his character in the way that he played. He was asked to do the left back role, but what I'll say, on top of that is it's been really refreshing with the new manager and the assistant and Pete in the way that they've come in and made it very clear about how they want to play.
Right.
So that allows players to go out and perform, and the way that they want the players to perform, and in structuring and making it simple, really. But I thought your assessment of him was spot on. I thought he was great. I thought he provided a real threat. Again, he's a player that needs to maybe get a little bit fitter, and then we can really look at giving him more minutes and providing us a real threat because of his pace and his directness. He can be a real threat in this league. And we've seen it with many other players transforming into fullbacks, the modern day fullbacks. So, I also thought Tony Alfaro was absolutely outstanding, considering he's coming off the back of not playing too many minutes. He was asked to step in after Brendan got an injury. Again, thought he was outstanding. But I thought the whole group, again, taking on the amount of information they've taken on over the last 3-4 weeks. And the amount of games they had to play last week.
Yeah.
3 games in I think 7 or 8 days. It's a tough ask for some of those players, especially young players like Jackson Hopkins. But they did it. They did it without complaining, and they put in a real shift against a tough Red Bull side that's tough to play against physically, mentally. And maybe a little bit unlucky to come away with only a point. But I thought it was a real positive in terms of the way that we defended and stuck together as a group and fought. I think you're always going to get that in a Red Bull DC game, but it was really nice to see. Really nice to see the progress, and hopefully we can continue that with adding the pieces that we've added.
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly for the rest of the season. It's something I think we can all enjoy that little bit more now that we've got some fresh blood in there, and it's just going to be hopefully a lot more goals going forward and keeping that defensive line compact as it was at the weekend. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think all the fans out there are going to be looking forward to the rest of the season now. So,
just looking to give it a real good go to the end of the season, James. Yeah. Just we've got nothing to lose at this point, so let's have a real good go and let's get behind the team as a fan base, and we're certainly doing everything we can to make a real push. So. We got a few months left, and then we can enjoy the World Cup, hopefully after a fairly successful end to the season.
Yes, and speaking on that, I'm going to know the answer to this one, but I think a few people. Obviously, you work for DC United, you spent a lot of time over in the States, but when it comes to that England-USA game I think it's on Black Friday, how torn are you going to be?
Yeah, so listen, I'm in a group chat with all my English friends that are here in the US, Atlanta, and some of the other places I've been, and we're texting before the draw, and all they kept saying was, "I can guarantee you, we will draw the US," and it happened, and they were spot on. And look, there's absolutely no doubt I'm 100% on the English side, and it's a lose-lose for me, to be honest, or for us English guys or English natives in the US. In that, if we win, we should have won, and if we lose, it's gonna pinch for a good year or maybe even 4.
And then you'll never hear the end of it because it's in the USA the next World Cup. So
it's just a disaster if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. But there you go. That's football. I'll enjoy the occasion. Whether I'll be in the States or the UK, we'll see, or any other part of the world for that matter. Let's wait and see. But come on, England.
Is it coming home?
Yeah.
Let's end it there. That's amazing.
Yeah, listen, it's come home for the women. I think it's time. I think it's time it comes home for the men as well. And look, congratulations to the women; they deserve that as well. They, 100%. Very, very proud of that one. They deserve every bit of credit for that. So, hopefully, the men can follow on that one.
Fingers crossed. Thank you again for the time that you've taken today and all the hard work that you've been putting into expanding the squad and getting the right people in. And we'll hopefully speak again soon.
No, I appreciate your time, James. Thanks for having me on again. It's always a pleasure. And hopefully we'll see you over here again soon, seeing the boys live.
Fingers crossed. So,
nice.
What did you make of that?
Well, I thought he was right on every point.
Especially that
misguided on one point. But otherwise, everything else is spot on.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was such a good time to be able to just to sit down and chat with them. Obviously, this time virtually, but it's absolutely fantastic. So, as I said before we went into that interview, Christian Benteke, are we happy?
Yes.
Too early to say, but I'm jazzed about it. After watching some of his sizzle reels, I want to say we got some good stuff coming here.
It's that overhead kick that he scored for Liverpool against Man United.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure we won that game 3-1. Just saying.
Still.
But still, he's quality.
That was a quality goal, that one. I think Heather, who's a member of DC UK, I think she's a little bit excited about Christian coming over and playing for us, considering she's a Palace fan as well. So she's just done this in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes. in capital letters with, I mean, is that 5 exclamation marks? Yeah, 5. Just slightly excited.
I'm particularly heartened, sort of seeing a lot of the Twitter comments from Crystal Palace supporters basically being like, take care of them, we're going to miss them, all that. So, no, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's better than the other. Yeah.
Because they were bitter, to say the least. Right. Shall we have a little review of the Red Bull game?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So stats-wise, obviously we drew 0-0. It's our first clean sheet in 13 games. Yeah.
Props to Romo.
Yeah, props to Romo for doing that. He had a very good game. Possession, we had 62.7 compared to their 37.3, which I think is one of the highest we've had all season. Mm-hmm. But we did only have 4 attempts on goal, which was fewer than I thought. I thought we had a few more, but there we go. So they had 13. So they were trying to shoot as much as possible. We had 2 on targets. They only had 1. So, they weren't that accurate. 2 offsides to their 1, 13 fouls to their 17, and XG was 0.3 to 0.7. So, a point was probably fair enough in the end with this one. Things that I noticed anyway, which I think I predicted last week about this week's game, the weekend's game, was the game would have been broken up by a lot of fouls because the referee, I think, averaged at 24, 25 fouls a game. So, wasn't particularly too pleased about that, but I thought we certainly looked better at the back, and Taxi had the clearest chance of the game with 23.23%. So, what did you guys make of it? I mean, Tom, were you at this one?
No, I was not at this one. I did watch though. I did get the chance to watch it. I actually thought, some people look at the 0-0 game and they're like nothing happened. But I actually found it to be quite a good game. Devin had a really good bit on during the broadcast, that after a while during the game, you eventually start playing footy because most of it was just tackle after tackle.
Mhm.
It looked like they were just trying to take each other out the whole game. The player I was most impressed with, which I think we can all agree, is Kamari Smith. He just looked fearless.
Mm.
He was just very headstrong going in. Um, yeah, I was really impressed, and for as long as we need it, I think he'll be very very helpful in that position.
Definitely. Daniel, what did you make of it? Who was your standout?
Um, Man, it's always Taxi. He is a guy out there who I don't know, he's a Rooney type. Like, he's an attacker, but like if he can get stuck in and get the ball back, like he's absolutely going to take that chance. He had a fantastic opportunity late in the game, but unfortunately skied the shot a bit. But um, no, he's just I love him to death. Especially like sort of in the circumstance this team is having. And I think you sort of look at a lot of the talk that was going on about him being a poor locker room presence. That hasn't happened at all since he's gotten here, and he's in a tough situation with this team. But the fact that he's still out there just putting in, just dogged work, I love it. Another one, yeah, it's weird. There's also some Kamani Smith slander going around about him, and I don't know. It's sort of weird because
Why?
yes, he's a guy playing a completely different position
Yeah.
than what he's used to, and I think there's some revelations to the Sean Howe interview that sort of gives some insight into his situation, how he's come along, and how he's responding to everything. This is a team, you could easily pack it in. I don't think they are. I think someone could see a 0-0 against New York as packing it in, but no, this is a team that's still grinding it out. They're still getting after it, and I still don't think that there's going to be a chance to recover for a playoff run.
Mm.
But I think this team's going to keep fighting, and I give props to that.
Yeah. I think Rooney himself won't give up until it's mathematically impossible. He's just not that kind of guy. You look at
And
what he
even
did with
then,
Derby. I mean,
yeah.
even then, yeah, he'll still want to go out on a high. He's just
Mhm.
that kind of guy. So I don't think there's anyone better placed to have as our head coach right now than Wayne Rooney. You see, you look at what he did with Derby and the situation he was under, and
Yeah.
how close he was to actually getting them out of that relegation. Props to him.
And the
Absolute props to him.
connection, the fact that he could just be like, yeah, I know Christian, I can just call him. I love that line so much. It's better than Lasada just calling up any jabroni he knew
You
from
mean Rafa
from
Romo?
Belgium, from his playing days. But so I will take calls to Benteke and the like for sure. I just love
Yeah.
that so much.
Oh, that tickled me. That the fact that you just said, "Yeah, we were on the phone after 5 minutes rather than 3 days. Like it usually takes me." Fair.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
not
all
gonna.
right.
Yeah, Sweet. That's the kind of guy that you need as your head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a disappointing result. In all honesty, that against the Red Bulls, it could have been a lot worse. I was fearing a lot worse, even though I did predict. I think I predicted the draw last
You
week.
did. You said 1-1,
I
and
did.
Daniel and I said 3-1 and 2-0. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
So let's move on to this week's game then, which is the New England Revolution away at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, if that's how you pronounce it. I mean, I would normally go Foxborough. 'Cause that's how it looks like.
Foxborough.
Foxborough, yeah.
Yeah.
7:30 kickoff on Saturday evening for you guys on the East Coast. 12:30 kickoff in the morning for us guys in the UK, and then wherever else you are in the world. Belgium, it'll be 1:30. Daniel, for you, it's 6:30 as it seems to be quite consistently at the moment. Head-to-head wise, it's very close, like it was against Red Bulls. It's 35 wins for New England, 39 wins for us, and 16 draws. Revs are unbeaten in 11 at home against DC United. So we've not won since 2013. So
Great.
Yep, just a little bit of a bad place for us to go to. Revs have beaten Orlando last weekend 3-0, which ended a 6-game winless run. So they're back onto winning ways. They've kept 3 clean sheets in a row for the first time since 2015. So defensively, they're due to concede. And as I said previously, the 0-0 draw for us ended a 13-game run without a clean sheet. And it's our second of the season. Can you name the previous clean sheet?
The first game of the season.
Yeah.
We won 2-0, I think. Against 3-0. Against Orlando?
Charlotte. Yeah. That inaugural game. They were so bitter about that defeat.
Was I there?
They got us back for that, so
they did get us back, yeah. So
yeah.
But yeah, they were incredibly bitter about that one. Key players for New England: Gustavo Bo, who's on the questionable list in terms of injuries. So fingers crossed he's actually out. Carlos Hill, who's a midfielder, and their new DP Giacomo Vrioni, who is a centre forward who they signed from Juventus. So that talks about the caliber of play that they've signed there. They've got someone in who's on the under-22 initiative, which is Dylan Barrero, who's again on the questionable list. So that's their key players. What do we reckon? They've got obviously Bruce Arena, who obviously DC fans know very well from his time at the club. Difficult stadium for us to go and play at. I think it's fake grass, isn't it? They have there because it's NFL stadium.
And it's like 40 minutes outside of Boston. So yeah, that's an absolutely wretched place to play for sure.
Yeah. So what do we reckon? What's going to be the key thing for us this weekend to try and get 3 points?
I feel like we're going to improve in terms of performance. New England is kind of leaky in terms of they score, but they also get scored on a lot. I think their goal difference is 1, which is obviously much better than ours, but still.
Yeah.
The thing for me is, we're a different team at this point. We're going to play better. I still don't know if we're going to be checking in that win column just yet, but I think, going away, playing on that horrible field and that horrible stadium for that horrible owner. Sorry, I'm just getting deep into it.
Is it just all?
No, I know
horrible?
exactly what you're saying.
I don't really see us going there and taking a win. I would love to be surprised. I'd probably go for like a 2-1 or 1-2.
Yeah,
as a bay. Like we put a mark on the game, but yeah, I'm not sure if I can see us coming out with a win just yet.
Okay. Daniel, what do you think?
I want to say if Bo's healthy, he's playing. It's going to be rough. I just think it's going to be a rough game overall. I don't think DC is going to quite quit or anything on it, but I think it's just going to. You've got New England playing for a lot right now. They're just outside of the playoff spot. They need points, and they're going to be hungry. So I'm not quite as optimistic as Tom, but I think it'll be 2-0. New England will go
Okay.
away with it.
Oh, fair enough. I think for me, I think I agree with Tom in terms of it's going to be a tough game, but I think we're going to keep improving. I think the way we played at the weekend gives us that little bit of optimism about our defensive play. It's been such a weak point throughout our entire season so far. It's nice to see. You're right, it is a tough place to go to. It is a horrible pitch to play on, which might mean that we don't see Nahar this weekend because obviously his record with his knees and things like that. So I think he might well be rested. But we've played a few games under Rooney without Nahar. He's been on the bench. So, we've done all right there. I'm going to go for another 1-1 this weekend.
Just 1-1s for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. Why not? Keep knocking up those scores ever so slightly until Benteke gets his visa, then it's a whole different.
Then, yeah, exactly. Then it's win.
Oh, yeah. Getting all those dubs. But then we've got Paulson this weekend.
That'll be good.
Yeah,
I'll be interested to see how he gets on and how
he's gonna get some scrapes on that turf.
Yeah, but then saying that he's Icelandic, so he's probably used to those kind of pitches.
Fair. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, I reckon he'll get a yellow card within the first 30 seconds.
Oh, he's definitely
just flies in within a tackle.
Definitely getting a yellow that game for sure.
I reckon we'll get quite a few yellow cards in that game. I hope so, because then they've gone aggressive.
If we have him and we have Alfaro on the pitch,
we might get a red.
Yeah, we'll probably get a red, honestly. Like a first half red.
I know. Now what'll happen is Romo will be playing centre back, or think he's playing centre back,
his natural position.
Yeah, and then think I need to slide tackle here, and then get himself sent off.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm just waiting for him to do what Cellini did, but outside the box, where he just volleyballs it down. But
that was insane.
And at that point, I would be like, Romo should only get a yellow because Cellini.
Yeah.
I don't want to point fingers, but
then Cellini wasn't the last man.
No, but he jumped up and he volleyballed it. He went
did.
like this.
He spiked it. Absolutely.
Completely different sport.
Yeah.
And then he played his innocence. I was like, what? Literally caught red-handed. Two red hands.
Yeah. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And funny enough, I was watching Sky Sports News the next day, and they were doing a piece on beach volleyball.
They're like, oh, we haven't covered that in a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. So that was quite entertaining. So Daniel, you're going for the defeat. You're not quite as confident. Tom, what was yours?
I'm going for the defeat but emotional win. So losing 2-1.
Okay. So it's basically a repeat of last week. I think we've literally all gone for the same.
Yeah. I think.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, one of us could be right. I hope it's me. I hope. Actually, no. I hope we're all wrong.
Yeah, I hope.
And oh,
that would be nice.
We're gonna lose 5-0 now.
No, don't. No.
Nah, we'll be all right.
Nah. I'm cautiously optimistic for a draw. I think I'll be happy with a draw, especially the way things are, and the fact that it's New England and we've not won there since 2013. So, yeah. Daniel.
Yeah.
I need to switch you over to this side. Then switch you down to, and then put me and Tom down there.
Hot seat.
And then I need to play the VT.
I miss that music.
Daniel, what is this week's hot topic?
Yeah, so pretty appropriate that we had All-Star Weekend. It's not a complicated topic to get into, but there's an interesting history with Major League Soccer and the All-Star Game. And so I think it's worth it to kind of get into that and talk about kind of the quirky little history to the game. So I can jump right into it. This is very much me speaking to a hypothetical European who just joined, the DC UK supporter group and wants to know about this All-Star game. So that's kind of the perspective that this is coming from.
Cool. So should we get Tom
Nice.
to do the countdown? Because he's got a stopwatch at the ready. So
3,
we'll go with
2, 1.
If there's one thing you'll learn about Americans is that we grew up with an unhealthy obsession with finding out who is the best of the best. We have developed supergroups like the Justice League, Audio Slave, the Dream Team, the list goes on. Following that belief, a uniquely American thing in our sports culture is the All-Star Game. These annual matches take the best players of their leagues and pit them against each other. In our leagues, we typically split up these all-star teams between East and West in the NBA, NFC and AFC in the NFL, AL and NL in Major League Baseball. Major League Soccer just celebrated their All-Star Week, but their format has undergone an evolution over the years. The All-Star Game concept isn't complicated, but there's a unique history to how MLS has used the game to market the league and showcase its progress. So we'll get one thing out of the way. All-Star games tend to be nothing more than marketing stunts. Sure, you have all the best players facing off against each other, but the games tend to be glorified friendlies. You won't ever see the players giving 100% all of the time in these matches. Major League Baseball used to have their All-Star game determine home field advantage during the World Series, but that rule went away in 2017. So what's with the story of Major League Soccer? It's a story of experimentation. It began as a traditional East versus West affair, but the format changed frequently until 2005 when MLS faced mighty Fulham and summarily dismantled London's oldest professional football club. From 2005 to 2019, MLS used an All-Stars versus Europe format. This format is the longest running at 15 consecutive years. Some of the clubs that made the trip over to the States for this game include Chelsea, Juventus, Manchester United, Arsenal, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich. Manchester United holds a couple of records against the All-Stars. They have visited twice, more than any other team, and they handed us two of our worst defeats, a 5-2 in 2010 and a 4-0 in 2011. Taking a step back, though, the first All-Star game was played on NFL grounds at Giant Stadium in the summer of 1996, and players were handpicked exclusively by coaches and their staff. This continued the following year, and then in 1998, Garber got on the juice and thought, okay, we have these American players, and we have these international players. I'm obsessed with comparing American soccer to the rest of the world, so here's what we're going to do. MLS American All-Stars against MLS World All-Stars. It's going to be great. Well, it wasn't great. The American All-Stars won 6-1 against their international counterparts, and that format was never used again. The league went back to the East and West format from 1999 to 2001, and then they flirted with the guest invite format before going to the MLS versus Europe format. One notable game in the short-lived series was MLS All-Stars versus the U.S. men's national team. This game in 2002 featured the likes of Tim Howard, Taylor Twellman, Marco Echeverri, and Carlos Bocanegra lining up for MLS. And the national team featured Eddie Pope, Jeff Agus, Landon Donovan, and John Harkes. This national team selection had a bunch of DC United guys on it, and that's mostly to do with the fact that Bruce Arena was the coach for the national team, and he had just finished coaching with DC United 4 years prior. It turned out to be a surprisingly good game, and the MLS All-Stars took a 3-2 victory, and Marco Echeverri was awarded the game's MVP. Washington, D.C. has hosted only 2 of the 26 total All-Star games, but they are slated to host in 2023 at Audi Field. The All-Star game is such an incredibly American thing, but MLS seems poised to make the format go worldwide little by little. The past 2 All-Star games have featured the best of the MLS against the best of Liga MX. These 2 games turned out to be competitive matches. While an opponent is not yet decided for 2023, Don Garber hinted at yet another change to next year's game. there's a new Leagues Cup in the work, and that will feature MLS teams facing off against Liga MX teams. In an interview with ESPN's Taylor Twellman, Garber said, "I'm not sure we need that for our All-Star game. You have the Campeones Cup coming up in September in New York, so we'll see what next year in Washington, D.C. looks like when D.C. United hosts." And that's it. That is the history of the All-Star game.
Oh,
Hey,
look
get
at
it!
that. Look at that. Bish,
Damn.
bash, bosh. Very cool. Well done, Daniel.
That was
That was
great.
awesome.
I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I like that little history lesson.
Hey, that's why I'm here.
That's so cool that the MLS All Stars played the U.S. national team. Like, I love that. That's brilliant.
I kind of want to look and see if there's like a video of it on like YouTube or something. I'd love, because man, that early, like 2002 to 2010, like national teams were just like so beloved, and they had some players.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I kind of hate that Man United is the one to get the worst defeats. Like that's our great accomplishment of the last 20 years. Like, oh
dear.
man, throw me in front of a bus, please.
No, actually, it was Manchester United that beat the All Stars. So
I know. I'm just saying that I hate that's our
greatest.
That's our like greatest. That's like our greatest.
I didn't even mean it like that. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna throw Tom some stuff here because I know he's been going through some
He's
stuff,
hurting.
But obviously,
my
like,
retweets.
There's no turning that around. I'm scared for you now.
Yeah, the season will be even worse than last. Eric 10 months is probably going to be Eric 10 weeks. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the season, but that's cool. I have seen I have seen Man U play in the US before, which has been great. They came over here to Maryland. It was at RFK, so it was absolutely a horrible experience. It was terrible. It took 2 hours to get there, an hour to park. Game's 90 minutes. Then it took an hour and a half to leave parking, and then 2 hours to get home.
Nice. It was a full day event then.
It was completely not worth it. I've never been so disappointed in my life.
And you're a Man United fan, and you're saying that?
Well, I think a lot of Man United fans are disappointed right now.
Yeah,
I think that's just a common trait we all have.
Oh, you
chose
that. Did you choose the team, or was that forced upon you?
Forced upon me as a child.
Yeah, you still got the chance to change.
Nah, I can't do that. It's too difficult.
You could never change.
Yeah, I used to have relatives that used to, because we just have like a very large family all over England. So they all had their different teams, and every Christmas I would get like 7 kits from like 7 different teams of them trying to convince me to switch over. So I have like ones from when I was a kid of like a Chelsea jersey, a Liverpool jersey, Ipswich, Blackpool, who else? Celtic, and Norwich.
Ipswich and Norwich?
Yeah.
Oh, they must hate each other.
Yeah. That's an interesting part. So my uncle actually used to be the team doctor at Ipswich when they were in the Premier League. And he then started his own practice and ended up becoming the shirt sponsor for a while.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I've been trying to get one of those shirts for like years now, but now it's Ed Sheeran. So
why?
Yeah. And it's just his tour dates on the front of the shirt. I'm just like,
sorry. Notts County last season had Jake Bugg.
Yeah, like
what? It's like, come on, just have some hoarding. Sponsor the hoardings. Don't put your name on the shirt.
I'd rather be sponsored by like Jewel at that point. Like, I'm just so over it.
So, what was your uncle's sponsor? What did he?
Hold on, I gotta see what it's called.
Do you know roughly the year?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s. That's unless it's TXU Energy.
Nope.
Nope. Sorry, just looking on classic football shirts and seeing if there's
Nice.
anything on there.
No, I'm trying to find it. I bet I could ask him, but it's 11:30 over there now.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Oh, really?
Who would have thought that, eh?
Peter.
How
Well,
is it?
his name
Early
is
2000s.
Peter Woods. His name.
Oh, is it Marcus? Oh no, that's Marcus Evans. I've just seen. Yeah, there's nothing on classic football shirts at the moment. Then,
I'll find it and I'll send it
No.
into the group chat.
yeah, why not?
Nice.
Cool. Anyway, we have one fan question, so we'll go with that one. Victor, over on Instagram, who sent the question in, asked. It's not really a nice question, but we're gonna have to do it. Who will finish lower? Washington Spirit in NWSL or DC United in MLS?
I haven't followed closely enough. I've watched a bit, but
Yeah.
wait, didn't they just win the title?
Yes.
Yeah.
For those of you who might not be as close to it as but you really are over here as diehard fans of DC stuff, Washington Spirit is the women's team of Washington. They play in the NWSL. A couple of years ago, and possibly even last year, a lot of the games were broadcast on Twitch, so I was able to watch a few, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Oh
wow, they are bad.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
They have one win.
No, that can't be right. Surely not.
That's really bad. What's interesting is
one win all season.
16 games. Bless you to
draws.
those. Bless you to those who are still going, because that's crazy.
That can't be.
They have one win.
One win.
They have
draws.
Dennis Rodman's daughter on the team, Trinity
Yep.
Rodman, who is fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope she decides to do one of his hairstyles because they are iconic. But maybe wait until the team's doing a little bit better to do that.
Yeah.
Because that's shocking.
That's something that Gen Z doesn't have. They don't have that Dennis Rodman experience. That ruled the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. You see a bit of it in The Last Dance, but I think he needs his own documentary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Spirit also have Drew Skundrich as missus.
Okay.
Really? Didn't know
Andy
that.
Sullivan.
Huh.
Do you not know that? Ah, there you go. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the other sort of bigger name players that they've got. Kelly O'Hara.
Yeah.
Love her. She's great.
I mean, they've had over the sort of the past years. Then there's Rose Lavelle as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably hurts not having her anymore.
Yeah.
She's on Man City now, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's have a quick Rose Lavelle.
Unless she moved on from there, but I remember her signing for them.
Who are they? The Rain?
Oh,
from Seattle?
Yep. That's
I don't know what does OL stand for?
In
OL Rain. Yeah, this is an exciting end to the show. I was just Googling. All right. The OL Group is the company who owns it. And they also own Olympique Lyonnais.
That's it, Olympique Lyonnais.
So it's the Olympic Group Reign.
All right. Cool.
There you go. So yeah, that's wrapping things up. So actually, no, we actually haven't answered the question. Who's going to finish lower?
Yeah.
They will, I guess.
Yeah, that's like 2013 DC United level
That's really bad.
Yeah. Sorry, girls.
Still sport.
Yep.
Mhm.
100%. 100%. So, cool. That's the end of the show, really. We've not had any other questions come in. So just remember, if you do want to get your questions answered, feel free to drop in live whilst we're broadcasting, or get them sent in before we go live and we'll get them answered on the show. Do come and join us over at DC UK for all the sort of build up to the games and just some great chat with fellow DC United fans. Just head over to dcunitedkingdom.com/membership and make sure you just follow us on all the socials. Which, Daniel, where can people find you?
Oh man, Professor DC UK. Gonna be getting real hot when USA defeats England, so I'm excited for it.
I mean, I think you're living in dreamland. Is what I'm gonna say.
Drugs
And
are
Tom?
getting stronger.
Yeah.
You can find me mainly on Twitter at DC United. What am I saying? DC UK Unfiltered, where I will mostly be posting depressing tweets about my football teams and getting in fights with Alexi Lawless because I hate him. So that's it from me.
There you go. Yeah, and if you haven't followed me, you'll see just down there. That's my handle on Twitter. But there's Facebook and Instagram, which if you're Michael Critchlow, who's joined in on the chat, has been watching over on Facebook. So thank you for that. Anything else that we want to say before we end the show?
Shout out Mount Pleasant.